Hello everybody and welcome my fellow Vemers to Veme, aka Video Marketing Made Easy. Now I got a bunch of hungry kids and a hungry Jamie waiting for me to go pick up dinner, so let's get going with today's episode. Today we're going to be talking about teleprompters and how to use them. I actually love teleprompters. It's really helpful. In fact, I'm using one right now. And if you're not familiar with what a teleprompter is, basically it's a reflective glass that goes in front of a camera lens and it reflects an image that is projected up into the glass. You can put up your scripts and you can read what your scripts are saying on your camera, and it looks like you're looking to camera without having an actual physical piece of paper that you're looking down at or pasting a script here and it looks like I'm talking this way. What it allows you to do is keep your eyes focused right where the lens is and still read your script. Every time I think about teleprompters, I think about that awesome movie Anchorman where Will Ferrell plays Ron Burgundy and he's always messing up the different teleprompter lines because he's reading what's on the teleprompter exactly verbatim. So just for fun, go ahead and throw in the comment section your favorite Ron Burgundy teleprompter line. I'm Nolan Hong. Okay, so now there are two different kinds of teleprompters. One, there's the big, super expensive professional kind. I know most of you don't care to know about this, but just real quick, the reason why it's so expensive is it comes not only with the reflective glass in the front, but it also comes with an LCD monitor attached to it where you can plug in, say, a tablet or a laptop or computer, and it actually serves as the teleprompter screen that you're working off of, versus the more affordable, smaller, compact teleprompters where all it is the reflective glass, and then you can put either a cell phone or a tablet on a tray below and use that to put your teleprompter software up on the screen. The professional ones with the built-in LCD screens, they can run several $1,000s, and honestly, if you're not doing this professionally, there really is no reason for you to spend that kind of money on it. Whichever one you do choose to use though, I'm going to give you some tips on how to use a teleprompter in the best way possible, make it a little easier, because it does require a little bit of learning, and there's some things that I've learned along the way that hopefully I can pass on to you, which will make your teleprompter experience much more easy and effective. So the first thing I wanted to mention is the font size that you use for your teleprompter software. Make sure that it's legible. And the difference of making it super legible where it's so large is that when you make your font size too large, all you'll see is just several words on the screen. And because you don't see it in full sentences, you're kind of blocking off just by single words and you start sounding like William Shatner. If you go the other route and make the font size really small, you see all of your script on the screen. Is if it's too small, then you're ending up doing one of these numbers as you're having difficult time trying to read what's on the screen. So most teleprompter softwares allow you to adjust the size of font that you're displaying on the teleprompter screen. So play around with it and find a size that is legible but still comfortable where you can see enough of the words in your script so that you can see full sentences versus chunks and pieces of it at a time. The next thing is most teleprompter softwares will allow you to adjust the speed at which the script is moving. And so finding a speed that you're comfortable with, because if you make it too fast, you're going to be blazing through the script, and because you don't want to lose what's going on and you say, ah. But if you have it too slow, what happens a lot of the times is that you read up into the point where the words are still coming up and you're like, so the next thing that I want to talk about. So when you're messing around with the speed, find one that is comfortable. It's not too fast, not too slow. And there's other kind of teleprompter softwares where instead of it just automatically scrolling at a constant speed, it'll follow the speed and sound of your voice. It'll pick up what you say and use that to move along in the script. When it works, it's super awesome. I've used that software before, and it basically is just called, it's a flow, the flow which you speak, and that's when it'll move and stop along with how you're speaking. The problem is that when it's not working, it sucks. It messes everything up and you're just waiting and you're like, I said the word already. Do I need to repeat it? Because maybe you didn't hear it and it's not moving anymore. And I've had so many times when it wasn't working and I just ended up feeling like, forget it, I'm not going to use this software anymore. And so now what I'm using is one where it comes with a little remote control, which this also doesn't work all the time. So I'm not going to tell you to get this thing because it's not always the best. But what this can do when it's working is I can start and stop. And in fact, it doesn't work anymore right now, but usually I can start and stop the script from moving. So as I'm moving along, if I want to stick to something a little longer and read it and slow it down, I can just stop it and then pick it back up again. The next thing that we want to cover is the distance from the lens to where I am and how that affects your eye movement. One of the big dead giveaways that you're reading is when somebody's eyes are moving left to right, because you can actually see that they're reading the script. Now, to limit that, the further away you are from the lens, the less chance that you can see the eye movement. The problem with that is the further away you are from the lens, the smaller the text is. So you want to kind of find that nice, comfortable distance where you can still read what's on the teleprompter, but you want to be as far away, because if I'm up this close, you're going to see me reading left to right like that, right? So at a comfortable distance like this, I can limit my eye movement, and also some software can, you can adjust the width of the text that's on the screen. So instead of filling the whole screen from left to right with text, you can make it more narrow so that all I'm reading is here versus here. The next tip I'm going to give you in trying to make it look like you're not reading a script and having it where people can't see your eyes moving is to add natural head movements and facial expressions. This accomplishes two things. When I'm moving my head, you can't see that my eyes are moving because I don't have a fixed position here. But I'm not just moving my head, talking like this. I'm moving it to add accents to what I'm talking about. It's matching the cadence of my voice and the things that I'm emphasizing. What it also does, aside from making it harder for you to see that I'm reading, is it helps me avoid looking like I'm zombie reading. This is a term that I came up with. I hope it makes sense. Zombie reading is when someone's just staying still and having zero expression and their eyes is just wide open like zombies, and it's not natural, and they're just reading the script like this because they don't want to screw it up and they are trying so hard to concentrate on the script. You can still read the script and still look natural by adding different head movements. Your eyes are still fixed at the front, but as I'm moving my face, moving my head, tilting my head up, tilting my head down, these things add more natural human feelings to the performance that you're giving. That's the other thing, is when you're writing a script for you to read on the teleprompter, write it in the voice that you would speak in. A lot of times the way we write is not the way we speak. And if you're writing a script and you're trying to sound super fancy and eloquent, but as many of you know, if I were to read that, you'd be like, that's not how you talk. You don't speak in the Queen's language like that. So the way you can help make yourself look and appear natural when you're reading a script on a teleprompter is writing a script in your own voice. So using phrases and terms that is more natural to your natural speaking voice. The other thing you can do is read it through a couple of times before you even get onto the camera and starting the teleprompter. Read through your script so that way, one, you're familiar with what you'll be talking about, and two, you can almost kind of play around with how you're adding inflection and emphasis to different parts of your script. If you're just reading the script cold on the teleprompter, a lot of the times you'll stay very safe just because you're afraid of what might be coming up next. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be talking about next, but if you have that comfort in knowing, okay, next thing that's coming up is this, so I can take my time explaining this part or reading this section of the script. So if you have the luxury of time to read through your script a couple of times before you start recording, that can make a big difference in how comfortable you appear on camera. The next thing I want you to know is while teleprompters are very helpful tools and can make things much more simple and easy for you, it's not a crutch where you would just say, I'm just going to rely on the teleprompter to do all the work for me. All I have to do is stand here and read. There's still the element of that you need to perform your script. The teleprompter can only provide you the words that you're reading, but it can't add the inflection and add the personality to it. So a lot of people make the mistake of just reading the script, and so that they stay safe and comfortable knowing that this is what I'm going to be saying and I don't have to memorize any lines, but they forget that they're still needing to add the human element to it. They still need to perform their script. And so when you're adding in personality, change the inflection, the tone, matching what you're saying with natural human emotions behind it will make a huge difference, where people will appreciate what you're saying to the camera, but also they might not know you're reading a script, which is the best thing. If they think that you're just naturally talking to them, they'll feel more connected and engaged with you. The other thing is that you don't have to always use full entire scripts for a teleprompter. You can just use bullet points, which is what I'm doing in this particular video. I just have certain topics to remind me of what I'm going to be talking about, and then I kind of freestyle from there, and I know what I'm going to be sharing with you, but I'm not reading verbatim everything that I'm talking about. And the other cool hack that I would like to share with you is that you don't have to only use teleprompters for script reading. You can also use it to make your Zoom calls look even cooler and better. Most of the times, the lens is either above the screen of where the person you're talking to is, or sometimes it's below or to the right or left. And so although you feel like you're talking to the person because you're looking at them, what they see is you going, yeah, that's really awesome. I really appreciate you calling. Or this is a really good time to talk. Yes, I love talking to you on Zoom. It's like as if I'm right here with you. The way you can use teleprompters is that you can put the Zoom screen onto your teleprompter window here. So while you see the person that you're talking to on the screen, you're actually looking at the lens of your camera. It's a whole setup. It's not like super easy, but it is possible, and there's tutorials on how to use your different kinds of teleprompter screens to achieve this. If you really want to do this and you need some help, let me know and I can help hopefully guide you with how to do it. But I've used it before. It's pretty cool. It's not necessary to me because I don't care that much that my eyesight and eye line is looking exactly at the person. But for a lot of you, I know that is an issue, and some of you would love to add this little dynamic to your Zoom calls, and a teleprompter would be a great way to achieve that. To summarize, using a teleprompter can be very helpful, but there are certain things that you can do to make sure that you still look natural, still are engaging with your audience, and not having zombie reading the styles where people are just like, oh my gosh, this is so uncomfortable. They're just staring a hole into my soul here and just reading in monotone. So hopefully these tips will help you come across natural, have fun, and really engage with your audience using teleprompters. If you like this video, please help us out by hitting the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to us, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you have any comments, please throw them in the comment section. The more activity YouTube sees on our videos, the more they're thinking, hey, these guys are cool. Let's go and share this with other people who might be interested in it. And the more Vemers we can get, the better. So really appreciate all of your support. If you have not yet joined our free Facebook group, go ahead and join it. We'll put the link in the description below. This is really cool. It's a private Facebook group for Vemers just like yourself. And one of the benefits of being in the free private Facebook group is that you get access to our live Q&A section that happens right after every week's episode is released. And so this is where you can ask us direct questions and we can answer it to you live. I bring on Jamie and she's here to answer all of your questions. So it's like you're getting the experts right in your living room on your computer screens live. So go ahead and join our free Facebook group. Again, the description below will have the link. All right, I think that's it. I hope you guys learned a few things, and I'll see you next week on another episode of Video Marketing Made Easy.